My hands are dry. Get my Mac so I have my notes. This one, oh, keep my back nice and. Ooh. So let me just wait for people to come on. Oh. Some cream. Hey, who's there? Hey, Taisha, you okay, my darling? What do you think about this lighting? It's white light instead of the what's it called, babes? The other colour, the brownie kind of colour. I think this one, brightens me up a lot. I like this one, actually. I do. Oh, had a long, long day. Oh, you like it? Okay, good. Yeah, I've had a long day today. I got my I got a light for my video camera and a mic, so I'm proud of myself because I'm getting my little equipment together. So I can start doing some reels and stuff for myself rather than waiting on people. Oh, where's my other phone? Because my Mac's dead. So I feel proud of myself. Sorted that out. That's why I was on late, because I went to pick it up. Facebook Marketplace is the best thing ever. Got some proper expensive equipment for a decent price. Who else is there? Oh my God. Hello, people. Hello. Hey, Shan Shan. Your lappy's here, babe. It's safe. It's here. I did try and see if I could knock you before when I got back, but that didn't work out. So, and congratulations as well. Oh my gosh. Happy days, happy days. How nice. I'm gonna have a little munch. Another one. So yeah. So there's 3 people, Shan, Ty, and yes. And it worked. What I was trying to do worked. I went to the studio and made a song, one of my Amapiano songs actually, with a producer. And when he's put the song onto my hard drive, onto my G drive, my good G drive, this guy has locked my G drive. And when you look at someone and you both just look at each other and you just have to look at each other, because I wanted to poke him in his head, and we just looked at each other and he was just like, sorry. I was like, fix it. What have you done? He was like, I don't know what I've done. When you just can't even get a vex because it's just that stupid. So I went to the shop today to get it unlocked. And the guy's like, oh, I can't unlock it. I can't unlock it. I was like, oh my God. And then I phoned one of my male friends and he was like, don't worry about it. You just have to put it in a Windows laptop because something about the Mac and da 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 da. And then Shan, I put it in and it worked. So great stuff. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Natalie. Happy birthday, my darling. I don't know about all this this. I feel like I shouldn't even say it. I don't know about all these numbers that you want to be saying, yeah, but I'm not saying it because it's just a bit odd that you want me to just be out here saying it. Now you're trolling the comment section with the numbers. Allow that. You're not tricking me. Yeah. So you're over here to chill, or you bounce. Your son wanted you to say it. Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you, Natalie. I love that. Oh, thank you guys. I absolutely love that. Yes. So, oh, thank I love that. Thank you, Just Jay. Don't give it to. I know it is. I don't even know what it is. You know me, I'm blonde. I bet you figured it out already, and I'm still sitting here saying I'm not saying it. Don't give me a joke. Don't give me a joke. I'm so sorry that that happened to your son. So anyway, now last night, last time we were talking about integrity, honoring the words and thoughts that we give to each other, like our life depends on it. Yeah. And we wrote lists and we got on with them. I saw a few people's Instagram stories or social media stories, and I saw people's WhatsApp stories where they were like getting on with my list. So that's just gangster. I love that. And then we spoke about that was the first power. And then we spoke about the second power, authenticity, and how to use authenticity in order as a manifestation tool. Not necessarily, a lot of the time, sometimes we focus too much on our beliefs, how we think, rather than how we're behaving. It is about how we think and feel, but it's also how we're behaving, and it's about how we execute our actions in order to get what we want. And you're not always going to be where you want to be. However, you still have to respect the process, and that's something that I'm focusing on as well, because sometimes you're up with, all right, we'll just give you the hey Sean, your girlfriend left ya. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing that your girlfriend left. Right, everyone, we're gonna have to have a safe space for Sean because his girlfriend's left him and she's going back to church. What did you do to her, making her want to take Jesus up as her husband? My Lord, you men need to fix up. I ain't got no comment on that. I got no comment, yeah? Because I'm not doing nothing to me while I go back to church. Oh, bless you, my darling. You always come with the jokes. So anyway, yeah. One thing I realize even about myself, I judge myself like if my money's low, or hey Keelan, if my money's low or whatever, I'll go on like I've never got any money. I'll go on like my life's never good. Like I'll go on like, and it's my daughter. She always says, "Mom, why are you going on like that? You're gonna be back up in a minute. What's your problem?" So with authenticity, it kind of makes you check yourself when you're low in happiness, money, just generally the things that you want, and the way you want things. It makes you check yourself. It makes you go back and say, okay, so how am I feeling inside? Am I feeling broke inside? Am I showing that I'm broke so people can give me opportunities so I'm not broke no more? If you get what I mean, I'm just giving you a layman example. Am I showing that I'm happy? Am I feeling sad inside but showing that I'm happy? And people are dealing with me as though I'm happy when really I'm sad. You got to be authentic. If you're feeling happy, if you're feeling sad, show that you're sad so people can come back as though you're hey, you're right. Yes, self-awareness, enter the building. Pop, pop, pop. So yeah. So people can, cheer you up and support you to higher your vibrations. So that was some of the examples of what we was talking about when we're done the authenticity. So today we're going to talk about responsibility. And just to give you a little recap, these are tools or a formula or techniques that I learned when I went to Bali and I stayed with a guru for 21 days. And when I did a lot of different workshops around this same topic, and I had a lot of work done on myself in terms of checking myself, bringing certain things to completion, things that have happened in my past. So when I was leaving, the guru said, go and take this and teach it. So that's what I've done ever since for the last 10 years. I always try to put myself in a position where I'm given this side of the information for free so that people can, start that journey and understand that spiritual awakening can be supported. It's not always medicated, so you can get a handle of it and you can manage yourself in regards to it. So yeah, that's how it happened for me. I've written 4 books. I've got a documentary on Prime Video. Um, I've been guest speaker on various panels, various platforms to do with raising motivation, working with young women all around women around the UK, so to speak, um, who are in refuges, and giving them the confidence to get back out there, after going through recent traumas, specifically a lot of them with partners, um, and speaking on the BBC and different, being in magazines and newspapers and things like that. So we stay humble and we always remember who we are and put ourselves in positions where, well, I put myself in a position where I'm still on track. I'm not getting big headed. I'm not overdoing it. I'm giving back to the people. So, because the mission is to teach the 4 powers, is to teach people integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enrichment. And today we're on responsibility. So, responsibility is understanding that you are the source of everything that goes on inside and outside of you. And I just want you to kind of cognize that for a little bit. Like genuinely cognize that I just said you are the source of everything that happens inside and outside of you. So whatever's going on outside of you is a mirror of what's going on inside of you. Now, some people can say, oh, I know that. Yeah, but to what extreme do you know that? And if you do know that, then what are the tangible steps you take to make sure that that is in alignment? Because again, it's about refining your authenticity, and responsibility is also about refining your authenticity and who you say you are. Like integrity, you've got the importance of cleaning out the cupboard, as I explained before, compared to the importance of writing a book. It's not about that. It's about what's top priority to you inwardly, you know? So, again, understanding that you are the source of everything that happens inside and outside of you. That's the 3rd power. That's responsibility. And we're going to go into it. So, if you haven't got a pen and paper, I beg you go and get a pen and paper. Yeah. And anybody who wants to join my masterclasses, you are always welcome to email me or contact me, DM me on any of my socials, and I will send you the link. I actually don't really like the whole hype of creating funnels and doing the websites and putting, if you want to contact me, just contact me and we'll just Zoom and do the things. I can do one-to-one and we can do group sessions. That's how I've done it the whole time. I'm not into overly investing in tricking you into connecting with me. If you want to progress, you just contact me and you do that. Serena Elnor. So get your pen and paper because I'm going to ask you a question. Yeah. And if you do my masterclass, then we can interact then, because this is a bit difficult because you might not get out of this the real light bulb moments and the immediate change because of the fact that we're not interacting. However, just do your best. Yeah. So responsibility, understanding that you are the source of everything that happens inside and outside of you. Have you ever had a situation happen and say there was some mix up or a drama, yeah, that happened, and the other person that's involved is literally saying, well, you did this to me, you did this to me. And you're like, yeah, I did that to you, but you also did that. And then you're going back and forth against who did what to do and who needs to say sorry, or who needs to be made accountable for who did what to who. So the argument becomes about that person violated me and didn't say sorry, and the same goes for the other person. How many times have you been in that situation? Whether it's about something small or big. And it's important that we take this on, because this is something that we need to teach our children as well. I'm very much quick with my children on this, and I'm going to tell you what it is in a moment. But I just want you to kind of just reflect back to times when you've been in a conflict with someone, or there's been a conflict in your life where it's a back and forth of who was wrong and who was right, rather than de-escalation and how to take responsibility individually. And I'm going to give you the child analogy, just so that we can, grasp the concept. So 2 children, your children, you've got children, or your nieces or your nephews or whatever, are having a quarrel. One of them comes and says, this one kicked me. And because one of them actually got physical, that's the one that gets into trouble. So therefore, the focus goes on who done the most harm. And that's the one that should say sorry. We are not dealing with that. What we're dealing with, whether that person kicked you or not, how can you take responsibility? How can you take responsibility for the part that you played in the situation? So rather than focusing on you've kicked you, and I mean, if you don't like what I'm saying, that's up to you, because this is how you reduce the drama. This is how you reduce the conflict and the chaos, because taking responsibility is not as easy as you think. And that's what creates the boundary. That's what puts people in a position. Hey, Sonny, that's what puts people in a position to think before they do things. I remember my children going through it, where they're squabbling, and I'm like, okay, cool, but how can you take responsibility? And they literally have to sit there, thank you, and can't move until they've said how they take responsibility for the part that they've played in the situation. And the other one has to do that as well. I don't want to hear who hit who or whatever, or blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, those children have got older and they come home and say this to me from school. And when they're out and about, they will say to me, Mommy, this happened, but I take full responsibility because I, da-da-da-da-da. You're teaching them how to not manifest negative situations. Yes, it's happened. That's fine. But how do you take responsibility? I didn't like it. So therefore, I'm not going to go around those people again. I take responsibility because I was around those people. Hey, stop motion. No, there's no way narcissistic people are going to achieve it. Bad boy. So let me give you an example of something now. This is a tool that I use when I even meet people. My feet are colder. Got my blanket. When I even meet people, male or female, a lot of people don't even get to the 4 powers with me, because you've got to have a conversation. And I take them through with the conversation, because I can't attach to toxicity. I'm not doing that in my life. I take responsibility for the fact that before I had this knowledge, I didn't have a vetting process, but I do have a vetting process. Hey, so when you meet somebody, yeah, you can be at the dinner table on the date, because chemistry actually makes you lose your clarity. Chemistry makes you not focus on the right things. Chemistry makes you not discover someone's personality type. This is just one question you can ask to see how that person that you're at dinner with, and this is why I'm not going on first dates to the cinemas, because we can't chat and I can't ask you any questions. Hey, Stitch, you all right, baby? Hey, what's the news? Ask them. So they'll be sitting there talking about, oh, you could get to the conversation of what happened with your ex. And they're sitting there and they're going on and on and on and on about what happened with the ex. Yeah. And then you just ask them one question and go, boom. Oh, okay. So how can you take responsibility for the part that you played in the situation? Oh, wow. She rare, 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 or he blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but how can you take responsibility for the part that you played in the situation? Now, it's gonna go two ways. As I said, he da 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 da, and they're a victim, or it's gonna be, do you know what? I wasn't truly in my power and in my confidence when I met that person. Hey, star, or it's gonna be, I was in a bad place actually. I actually just separated from one of my exes, from my ex, and it was a rebound, or um I didn't actually really like the person then, and we kind of just ended up in a relationship. Do you see what's happening? Do you see what's happening? Regardless what happened, that doesn't matter. It's about understanding that you are the source of everything that happened, that goes on inside and outside of you. So it's not about the outcome. It's not about shaping the narrative to the idea that you are a victim. It's about admitting whatever was going on with you. I lacked self awareness. I didn't feel like I was up to a relationship because I didn't have much money. And therefore, my self esteem was low. I was going through a lot and I just needed somebody, some comfort, really. I had no intention of being with that person. And I'm just giving you examples, or I was broke and I gave up on my business. And rather than focusing on improving my business, I went and got a job, or my mental health was going down the drain. And I kind of just sunk into it and didn't do what I needed to do in order to stay, keep myself balanced. Can you see where I'm going with this, with the difference in um those who take responsibility and those who don't? It's very much, plain and simply, adjusting yourself from victim mode to, I'm the power here. Even if I make shit decisions, I'm still the power. I'm still the one that made the decision, whether it was in my weakness or within my greatness. Do you understand? You are the source of everything that happens inside and outside of you. Last night, I was talking to my friend and we're having a conversation, and it just so happened to lead to men. And we were saying, why is it that we attract emotionally unavailable, or just unavailable men? So it's not necessarily unavailable as though they are in relationships particularly, but why is it that we attract men who are not that's not really, it's not really there? What do you mean she's in control? What do you mean? And I was like, mm, like it was just a natural thing. I was like, oh, we need to take responsibility. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, where are we being avoidant? Where are we being avoidant in areas of our life? Why it's showing up in, yes, Stitch, tell me where it's showing up in our, in important areas of our lives. So it went from men to even our finances. Like, where are we avoiding making money? Where are we avoiding attracting where are we avoiding people that we like? Where are we being light and um one foot in, one foot out in life? Oh, did you, Stitch? You honored the words and thoughts that you gave to yourself, my darling. I love that. Good girl. Good girl. I love that. I love that because you said you loved him. And look at that. The moment you said it, you see? So that avoidance actually switched around for Stitch, because Stitch is like, you know what? I've got a conflict where I'm in love with this guy, and it's it doesn't, nothing's happening, and we're just kind of friends. So she's been honest with him, and now she's got a boyfriend. I love that. It's so good. I love that for you, my darling. See, because you was in a space of power. So yeah, we're now looking at areas of our lives where we're not taking responsibility. How can we take responsibility for the fact that we haven't got the bank account balance that we want? How can we take a responsibility for the fact that we don't have the partners that we want? How can we take responsibility for the fact that, you know, that situation's happening? How is it happening? How we're powerful people. We are powerful people. This is, you're not a victim. And I'm not saying that you're never a victim, because you're shit happens. But when that shit happens, how do you take responsibility to make sure that it's not bloody affecting you anymore? How do you set the boundaries with yourself? Are you addicted to toxic situations? How can you take responsibility for that? How can you take responsibility for the fact that you've just got so much stuff going on? How can you take responsibility for that? For the fact that you're not trying to resolve these things, and you're not supporting those who need supporting in order to resolve their things. So this isn't just about looking at yourself as a mirror, but it is in a way. It's also about actionable results. It's about de-escalating scenarios, whether small or major, in your life that are affecting you, that are causing you conflict, causing according to you, and understanding that you have the power to know that you are the source of everything that happens inside and outside of you, because that's the power of responsibility. It's not about blame. It's not about blame. That's for weak hearts. It's not about blame. Why is it that you don't want to let go of? And I'm not just talking about relationships. It could be a job, it could be an opportunity, it could be an idea, it could be a belief, it could be about a habit, a way that you are interacting with your children, it could be the way that you're interacting with your friends, it could be the way that you're interacting at your job, the way that you interact when you're driving your car. Why is it that you are not taking responsibility for the fact that these things are happening, but on the other end of things, you're actually asking for peace, but you're not willing to do the things that you need to do and take the necessary action to create peace in your life? And I don't mean to be mediocre and even be mentioning peace like that, but you know what I mean. So for those who have got their pen and paper or your phone, take out your notes or whatever, um, I want you to write down something that's happening in your life at the moment that you're not happy with. I just want you to write it down. It could be anything, it could be major, it could be small. I want you to write down. You could even, your toilet seats keep breaking. How can you take responsibility for that? Yeah, write it down. Write it down. And let's have that self-care. Let's remove the self-critique. Let's take the Virgo energy out of our lives, in a negative way. Because I'm showing you how to replace it in a positive way. We can focus on detail. We can focus on precision. We can critique. But how do we do that in a way that drives us to satisfaction? Or do we do that in a way which isolates us from others and people and things that we want? Because we're here to enjoy. We're here to enjoy. We're here to taste, see, hear, feel, touch. We're here to do those things. So therefore, we need tangible things and external things to validate that, to enjoy that. Don't let nobody tell you that having a partner is wrong, having nice things is wrong. Those things are not wrong. It's just you can't become over consumed with those things to the point where you now blend in the mirror and you actually think you are those things. You have to remember who you are within those circumstances to reduce any narcissism. So yeah, write down a conflict that is happening for you at the moment, and a difficult situation that you may be going through. And even if you feel like you've solved it, write it down anyway, because we can work through it and look at ways that you can either speed up the process of resolving it, or how you can become more powerful and inject more power into those circumstances. I'm just going to turn the heater on because I should have turned it on and now it would have been warm. So you guys do that. I'll be back. Yeah. So that's sorted now. So you should have written it down now. If you haven't written it down, then, complete writing it down and just have your listening ears out. Again, life's not easy. And one thing I can't stand, and what really, really, really gripes me, is when people can do better and don't do better. When people don't admit that they're weak to become strong. I've got one song, They Know. You can watch the video on YouTube. And in the song, I say in the second verse, get weak so you can get stronger. Get weak so you can get stronger. There's such a stigma around weakness that is holding back the whole of society, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting, the fact that people are so cemented in their self-image that they're just isolating society. They're isolating everyone and they're isolating themselves purely because they are so strong in their self-image, which has so much cracks in it and it's so false in so many ways, that they would prefer to isolate themselves and not enjoy and feel satisfied about what life has to offer. Why would you do that? Because you're so weak that you can't get weak, knowing that you'll get stronger by admitting that you will change and things will get better. You're so addicted to being weak. And I'm not talking about, people who are suffering mentally or, things like that. I'm talking about even the average person that thinks that they're the shit. Like they think they're the shit and they're so stuck in their self-image that they just continue to isolate themselves. That's the the big thing at the moment is I said, oh, I'll stay on my own. I'll just be on my, oh, shut up. Just absolutely shut up. You're choosing to be isolated from society, isolated from people, isolated from relationships, isolated from growth because you are addicted to your false self image. And you like your shitty image so much that you just prefer to be shit. That's not what we do here. That's not what we do. We take responsibility for the part that we play in situations. We don't become embedded in blaming everybody else and people are this and women are that and men are this and people are this and that and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's systematic oppression. You know, there's some toxic people out there. However, how can we take responsibility for that being a part of our existence? Why is it still here? Set up a business. Forget systematic oppression. Work together as a community or as a friendship group or with your partner. But because you've had some shitty experiences, you've encapsulated yourself in those experiences so much so that you're such a victim, you can't even push forward no more. I don't care. I will go from doing my podcast, for example, in a nice studio and then doing it in my house with the curtains as the background because I don't care. It's about me being collaborated and being in a position of showing people and being an example of the fact that you can live as an everyday normal person regardless what's going on and feel strong within yourself about having the formulas to be self-aware enough to still navigate through life. Hey, Paul. So with what you've written down, I want you to rewrite that story. So, you know, my partner cheated on me and I don't think I can be in a relationship again. Look at where you can take responsibility. Rewrite that story. Rewrite it. Rewrite that sentence in a way where I take responsibility for being in a relationship, for example, with somebody that I knew wasn't even capable of being faithful. I take responsibility for the fact that this is what you can write. You take responsibility for the fact that you're choosing to make that experience stop you and isolate you from manifesting somebody who's more healthier for you. You take responsibility for the fact that you don't have a vetting process when it comes to relationships and therefore you've attracted some shit. I take responsibility, or you take responsibility for the fact that you don't give yourself time to observe a person's personality in order to make sure that you're safe because that's your responsibility. You take responsibility for not being knowledgeable enough to execute your business idea and not doing the relevant courses or getting the relevant information or buying the relevant people, at least at the bare minimum, a coffee in order to transact information from them. Because a lot of people do that. They'll sit there complaining, oh, nobody helps me, blah, 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 blah. And you ain't even willing to buy someone a coffee to make them feel safe enough to have a conversation with you, never mind bloody having a mentor. So you'd sit there and isolate yourself from people and from actually executing your business idea in a way that can actually help you, your family, and your community, because you can't be asked to build the relevant relationships with whoever it is to make it work. I look like Jay-Z. Do I look like Jay-Z, guys? I hope you mean his richness. Probably his wealth. It must be his wealth that I look like. Hey, Ricky. Yeah? What do you take responsibility for? You take responsibility for the fact that you're not actually telling your children to take responsibility for the part that they played in the situation. And that's why your children are always arguing, because they now use it as a tool to get attention from you. That's all right. It's okay. I knew you were joking. Unless you're saying that it's his wealth I look like, I'm not accepting it. If it's his wealth I look like, then cool. But if it's not his wealth I look like, then you need to take that back. Yes, so how can you take responsibility for the part that you played in this situation? I take responsibility because you could take responsibility because you shouldn't even still have that friend. That person shouldn't even still be chatting to you. You could take responsibility because you know you've got anger management problems. you, you know, how can you come on, share with me. Share with me some of the stuff that you've written, something light, you know, that you don't mind sharing. Like I said, we can discuss this in my masterclass. When we have the masterclasses, oh my God. I'd love to see what you guys have written down and what light bulb moments have happened for you. Responsibility, understanding that you are the source of everything that happens inside and outside of you. Absolutely fantastic. You know, I wanted to improve my life, and I wanted to go on retreats, spiritual retreats, and read books and start yoga. And I realized that I wasn't taking responsibility for the conflict that I was having within myself. It's like I knew my integrity was telling me, you're going to have to invest in going away to these different spaces outside of your community and these different religious groups in order to explore yourself deeper, to stabilize yourself. And there was loads of things holding me back. The fact that it, you know, say for example, like Hinduism, it was for me, you know, that's not my religion. I don't know these people, blah, 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 blah. I was saying all kinds of stuff. Oh, my money has to go on this and not investing in my well-being. The moment I took responsibility for the fact that the shit's still going on because I'm being inauthentic and being out of integrity, boom, life changed. I had extra money to do what I needed to do. I remember how ridiculous it's interesting when you go on a journey of um, self-discovery, self-awareness, and to, you know, understand your spiritual awakening. It's so interesting. Hey, you all right, Justino? Hey, Dixie. I remember when I was going to the 21-day retreat, and I was driving in Peterborough because I went to get my passport, and because I was going to Bali. And hey, and someone called me, a family member, and she was like, "Oh, I'm really worried about you, Serena." And I was like, "Huh? Oh, yeah, what's up?" She's like, "You know, you're going on this retreat. You don't know these people. They could do anything to you. Da 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 da." Now, I remember looking out. It was a warm day, actually. It was a very nice day, and I looked out at the field because I was quite enjoying driving down the country lane. And I looked out at the field, and then my attention went right back to the phone on loudspeak. You know, it was on Bluetooth. And I says, "So when you go to Ibiza, Spain, and your resort holidays, do people say they are worried about you drinking, sleeping with men that you don't know, eating from hotels that nobody knows anything about, are we concerned? Would you be showing concern then if I was going to Ibiza? And she paused and I said, I'm going to do meditation. I'm going to look about myself. I'm not going to do drugs, link some guy that I've never met before or anything like that. I'm going to look out for myself so I can take responsibility for the fact that me personally, I think my life was shit then, even though it was great. It wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. I knew that I could do better. And it's after that, when I took responsibility to access the more powerful sides of myself, I ended up writing 4 books that have self-published and doing a documentary and doing my singing career and making money from that. All because I invested in myself and went on that journey. I took responsibility financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. I was no longer abandoning myself. I was no longer saying, oh, because I was young, when I was younger, my mum did this to me and this happened to me and blah, 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 blah. No. And it doesn't eradicate the fact that those things happened to me. It just says that I was no longer going to be allowing those things to be a gatekeeper to me moving forward into my success and self-actualizing into who I was really meant to be or who I'm really meant to be. So I just want you to know that you are amazing and you might be okay with things, but if you're the kind of person that's somewhere inside of you is like, do you know what? I could be doing that little bit more, you know? What do I need to sacrifice? Where am I being a victim and not taking responsibility? Ask yourself that question. Where is it within you that you are not taking responsibility? Where is it in you that you're not honoring the words and thoughts that you give to yourself and others? Where are you being inauthentic? Where are you sitting there smoking instead of reading? Scrolling instead of communicating? Isolating instead of connecting? Where are you doing that? Where are you not setting boundaries? Where are you afraid to be seen? What parts of you need to be brought out into the environments that you're in order for you to present as who you really are? Why are you scared that you're going to be isolated? Why are you not curious about who's going to drop off and who's going to stay? About who's going to accept you and who's going to disassociate? Why are you scared about being you? Why are you scared about seeing yourself in that mirror? Because that's what responsibility is going to do. It's going to show you who the hell you are. I realized I was great at writing. Prior to that, I was scared. And don't get me wrong, I had some awesome jobs, which I was proud of. However, I'm even more proud now because I found a way to monetize being me when I took responsibility. Write down another one. Go on, do it again. Write down another conflict that you're having. Rather than expecting people to, hi, Otto, thank you. Rather than expecting people to accept you for who you are, because you're manifesting your lower self. You don't even want that girlfriend. You don't even want that boyfriend. But because you're not taking responsibility to admit that you're settling in all areas of your life, you're now resenting the person that you're with because they represent you settling. Because you're not taking responsibility for the fact that you've chosen settling and making up all these excuses as to, well, this person's doing this to irritate you and this person's making me a victim and they done this to me and they done that to me. When actually you need to take responsibility for the fact that that person represents you settling. Take responsibility. Hey, stars. The more you cognize and practice this, take responsibility. Some weird, bad things have happened to me, some frigged up shit has happened to me, and I've had to sit there and say, how can I take responsibility for the part that I played in that situation? Where was I choosing to share my secrets with strangers rather than people that I know? And deepening the intimacy with those people. Where was I doing that? Why was I doing that? So you're sharing your secrets with people that you hardly know because it's safer, because you can be in control of the narrative with the people that you know. Ooh. I've got a friend and she's very open and she speaks her mind and I love it. I sit there and I think, wow, I wish I had much more confidence to speak what I really think of people. She don't give a shit. She don't care. She doesn't care. And the relationships are not falling apart. Those relationships are very authentic relationships. They have their argument, they make up, or they have the argument and they just keep a distance. That's who that person is. This is who I am. You're this way. I'm this way. And I love it. I can't say I've always had the balls to be so honest in my relationships without fearing that I am going to be isolated. But then by being like that, I am isolating myself. Interesting. Where are you isolating yourself financially, mentally, emotionally, and physically because you're afraid of being seen, because you don't want to take responsibility for the part that you play in situations, which is going to align you with your authenticity? Through integrity, authenticity, you take responsibility so you can enrich yourself and others. And next time we're going to do enrichment. And we're going to go over this because it doesn't stop. Doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. The energy of that one retreat, that 21-day retreat, has lived with me forever. I've saved so many lives in different ways, financially, emotionally, mentally, and physically. I'm not even showing off. I'm keeping it a book. And I've had people who have gone and they've come back to me and they've gone, oh, you know, that what we said, what you were talking about and what you shared with me and what you taught me, I helped another person. That's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful to know that I am the vessel of something that a transferable skill that helps humanity. And I'm here sharing it with you guys today. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for allowing me to be that side of you that you couldn't be for yourself in regards to this information. Thank you so much for getting it, so much for not getting it, so much for getting your pen and your paper, so much for giving me your time for the last hour. Thank you so much for being awesome. Thank you for who you were yesterday and who you are today. Thank you so much for all the great things that you do for people and for yourself. Just remember that you are awesome, you are kind, you are smart, you're intelligent, you are abundant, you are sexy, you are beautiful, you are pretty, you are handsome, you are flawless, you are with fault, you are great, you are strong, you are powerful, you are the prayer, and you are the affirmation. Thank you so much for being here with me today. In love and light.